Good morning, junior hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com and Victorious Hockey Company with the Junior Hockey Morning Show, broadcasting on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, Facebook, Twitter, I think YouTube. Today is November 25th, 2022, the day after Thanksgiving. Yesterday's show was a little chaotic. We got about 10 guys in there. Some technical difficulties around the country. We realized that cell phones don't work too well with live streaming. Learned a lesson there. We're kind of new to all this. It's been fun so far. Pretty high tech for an old guy like me. Kids are trying to help me a little bit, especially Tomas. But so far, it's been fun. We hope that you're enjoying it. There's no guest today. My son, Tomas, is in the background. He's going to answer questions or ask you guys to provide questions via the Facebook discussion group. But today's topic from HeisHockey.com was bad coach characteristics to watch out for. Look, the majority of coaches are really good people, by far. I think hockey just develops outstanding character development over the course of a player's career and as they get into coaching. Hockey is not as much a sport as it is a lifestyle. So when you believe in something so much and you're so happy with what you're doing, it gets to be part of who you are. I'm 56. I'm still doing this game. Why? Because it's part of who I am. So again, the majority of coaches are going to be outstanding people. And what we are talking about today are the guys 1 out of 10, 1 out of 15 probably, but it's those guys that cause the most trouble, that we hear about all the time, that we hear complaints about, that actually do a great job at chasing kids out of the game. Those are the guys we're going to focus on today. We're not going to name any names. We're not going to name any specific situations. No one's going to recognize these characteristics as being associated with any one coach. They may remind you of a coach, and that's okay. But as we go through this, you're going to understand where we're coming from and why it's important. Coaches mean well, but 1 in 10, 1 in 15 are going to be the donkey that gets the reins of the pony show. Not too sure how they got there. A lot of times our game is automatically recycling older players into coaches, and not everybody can be a coach. So what are some of the bad coach characteristics we're talking about today? The first one, negative reinforcement. All a coach does is talk about what a player does wrong continuously. The player is rarely getting any positive reinforcement. It's always negative, 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 negative. Oh, you didn't do well in that shift. You're sitting out the next 2 shifts, or you're sitting out the rest of the period. I think it's important for coaches to try to, especially with today's players, is to try to give those players a sandwich. Say something positive, say something that's critical, and bring it back with a positive again, and then have the faith in the player in his system to give that player another opportunity. But so many times, it's negative, 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 negative. And it doesn't really work. Not with players in 2022. Coaches need to highlight what players do correctly and put some emphasis on that. And here's what you have to work on. Here's how we're going to work on it together. Now I want you to apply it in the next game or the next practice. That's very constructive. That works. It proves to have worked so far. Coaches that can do that are the ones that have the highest level of success with their programs, not just in wins and losses, but in the development of that player's skills and as that player matures from being a boy into a man. The second one is disrespectful. Coaches shouldn't call out players in front of the team, no matter what. Don't do that. Don't argue with the referees on the bench over and over and over again. If you have something to say once or twice a game, okay. But when you want to combat every single call, you're losing your ability to negotiate there. If you're bothering and bickering and harassing the referees the entire game, it shows that you have little respect for the game as a coach, but it also shows those players that they can do the same thing. Very counterproductive, very embarrassing for the players, for your family, for the team owner, for everybody involved, and mostly for the referees. And I'll tell you this, the guy that badgers the referees from the bench the entire game, how many calls are you really going to get when it's all said and done? Very, very few. But we see it all the time. We see it in the National Hockey League. We see it in the minor pros, and we certainly see it across the entire spectrum of junior hockey. When are you guys going to get it? Enough. Don't humiliate your players. Don't badger referees. Don't be disrespectful with a tremendous amount of foul language in the presence of people with children or on the bench when you know this kid sitting right behind you. Control yourself, coach. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to the game. Drill sergeant mentality. This guy is the boss, and he'll let everybody know when he walks into the room or skates out into the ice. When he's on the bench, it's his way or the highway, period. Drop down and give me 20. He's not saying that. Well, maybe he is. But the mentality is there, and you can see it from day one to the end. Those are the guys that make hockey not fun. If you're not open to hearing from the players, if it's your way or the highway all the time, maybe your way is not always the best way. Sometimes you have to work through adversity, and that drill sergeant doesn't want to do that. He's dead set on his systems. He's dead set in his ways. He's dead set on he's not going to talk to parents. He's dead set against talking to any advisors. You don't need an advisor. I do that for you. He's a control freak from A to Z. Stay away from that guy. Good coaches prepare players the best they can for games, but realize they can't help their players become perfect in all aspects of the game. That's the approach you should look for in a coach. Players at every level should enjoy playing a game. It should be fun. And that drill sergeant's making it not fun. They make promises they can't keep. Oh, you're going to be in the first line. You're going to be in the power play. If a coach tells you that, you're in my top 6 during a spring pre-draft camp, he is full of poop. He's lying to you. Listen, we have you penciled right in for the NCDC right now, and that's where you're going to play, no matter what. But go ahead and sign this contract. And if you do that in April, and later on you have a really good off season, and you go to the NCDC team, and they can do really well. There's 80 kids there or 70 kids there. Now they have a 70-man protected list. Oh, well, you're not doing as well as we thought you were. Now you're going to play on the premier team. Poop. That's just poop. Go somewhere where you're going to play. These guys that have 2 and 3 teams, I question it. I don't know why the elite level of the USPHL exists other than to fill bank accounts. Maybe that's a hard thing to say. And some kids maybe need that elite level. Maybe if you're 16, 17, well, they should maybe not have any 19, 20-year-olds at the elite level. Just saying. Don't make promises you can't keep. Don't promise equipment that you're not going to deliver. Don't keep a kid for a week and put him an hour and a half away from the rink in the house, and then he walks away after a week and you want to keep his money for the whole season. That's just dirty. I don't care who you are. From time to time, there might be a real reason why a coach makes a last-minute change. Hey, kid, you're not getting much ice time. We got to do something different. At least talk to the player first. Don't just trade him. That's irrational. And in today's game, especially at the pay-to-play level, he has other options. Maybe he doesn't want to go to Flip-Flop. Maybe he doesn't want to go to San Diego. Maybe he doesn't want to go to Boston. If you just say, hey, you're going, there's other options across the board. So run it by the player first. Talk to his family if his family is part of the equation and active, especially for younger players. But just trading these kids all over the country and expect them to do so at their expense is ludicrous. Coach can be too casual. Nothing's more embarrassing than watching a coach hit on a player's girlfriend. Not a good look. Not a good look. Or hitting on a player's mother. That happened a lot out in Arizona under a current North American Hockey League coach when he was coaching in the Western States Hockey League. Not a good look. Don't be too casual. Don't drink beer on the bus on the way back from a game. That's too casual. You are a hockey coach from the moment you see your players get on the bus for a road trip until you get off the bus when you get back. Don't be a donkey along the way. Nobody wants to see a drunk coach. No one wants to see you hitting on some bimbo in the bar. That's a bad look. Don't be too casual with your players. Vaping's become a monster issue in all of junior hockey, but coaches would dip, spittoons all over the office. Way too casual. Way too casual. You're leading by example, coaches. Please, be a good example. How are you going to feel if a 16-year-old kid watches you with your bottle of spit going everywhere you go? He decides, hey, I'm going to try that. And 5 years later, he's dead. Happens. Tobacco use is dangerous, and he got the idea from you. You don't want that on your heart. That was a little heavy for a Friday after Thanksgiving. It's all right. Tomas?
But where did you get your mug from?
The mug. This mug is old. We got it at the North American Hockey League Showcase in Blaine. Albus Curious was passing them out like candy. I grabbed one. The kids get another one. My daughter Cora lost one at the school, and I got the old one. Keeps the coffee cold. So far, so good. It's my staple in the morning. Sometimes I have coffee. Sometimes I have hot tea. I like it. It works. If you are a team and you have a better coffee cup, send it to us. Tomas will give you the address to send it to. Anybody else, Tommy?
What about the white jersey?
The white jersey in the background. 2001, 2002, I was in Texarkana, Texas, Arkansas, close to Oklahoma and Louisiana. And I did a morning show on 95.9, and that was the jersey that one of the fans gave us. Don't bother me about the damn flag.
What about the flag?
All right. I'm a hardcore Maple Leafs fan. The last time they won the cup, I was in diapers. Making a mess everywhere. I think I was 1 year old. Not even one when they won the cup. 9 months. I'm thinking now that it was a curse, that they're waiting for me to go back to diapers again before winning again. Kind of scary, but that's where we are. No questions? You guys are real active this morning. Probably no one's actually watching the show. 5 people with no questions. I love it. All right, so we learned today that we have an ability to show highlight reels on this program somehow. If you're a team and you want to put together a highlight reel from the weekend, I don't want to see every hit. Something ESPN-ish. Goals, big hits, good saves, great. Let's see it. And you can send it that. If you're a coach, a player, an owner, a billet, a commissioner, Bob Turrell, you're welcome to come on the show. USPHL, I've made now at least one invitation. Bob and I are not friends, so I don't think he's actually going to come on the show, but I want to invite him. Very sincere. But if you want to come on the show, talk about your career, what your team's doing, talk about your program, here's a good opportunity for you. Send email to Tomas. That's the kid back there. Say hi to Tomas. Yeah, he waves. His email address is heislergroup@gmail.com. Yep, Heisler Group over there at gmail.com. Friday, Black Friday, people are in stores going crazy, and we are here with you. Got my Black Friday shirt on, my customary black polo shirt. So far, so good. No questions. All right. Monday's show will be quite a bit longer. We have some decent guests lined up. I want to get Eric Ballard back in on Monday because we broke down the NAHL weekend and all the teams a few weeks ago, and he was fantastic. Kind of a little pepper to my salt, or salt to pepper. Wasn't that a band from the 90s? Salt and Pepper. We got to play that song. But I'm going to give Eric a shout to try to get him back in on Monday. It's a little early in the Mountain District where he's at, but we'll give it a shot. We'll break down all 29 North American Hockey League teams. Until then, have a great weekend, and hope your wives don't spend all the money.